Sounds like a party in here.
Wow. We should get some strobe lights up
I know,
in
right?
here.
For like bumping it.
Not fancy lights, I don't know.
Welcome to the 4 to 5. I'm Lauren Coleman here with Tim Buckley and Chad Silber on this flashy Friday.
Or Flashback Friday.
Yeah, Flashback Friday. I like
that. Music. Tim, are you getting used to the 4 to 5 now? I know, Eric's been off this week.
I'm getting into the groove here. Yeah, it's not so bad every day.
Right. Yeah. Well, you're going to have to go
party.
back to your other
You'll
shift.
kick me off next week. Eric will be back. Don't
Yes.
change the channel. Eric will be back next week. He said he's been enjoying the beach though.
Yes.
So we'll see if he's sunburned on Monday.
Yeah, we're going to get a beach forecast from Tim here in just a minute. But thank you for watching us on air, online, Fire Stick, Roku, and the News 2 app. We always have fun in the Facebook comments, so let us know that you are there.
Right now, we're working to learn more information about a Greensboro College football player's life cut short by gun violence.
Investigators say Shaheem Clemens died in a mall shooting Sunday in his hometown of Anderson, South Carolina. He was 19 years old.
Police say Clemens was shot in the back of the head while shopping at Anderson Mall. This week, they charged 20-year-old Emilio Robinson with the murder. Clemens' mother says he was on school break and planned to return to Greensboro soon.
Greensboro College says Clemens was a well-known friendly face around campus and an inspiring leader on the football team. In a statement, the university president wrote, "While there are no words to adequately describe our community's loss, we all hope that everyone will keep Shaheem's family, teammates, and friends in their thoughts and prayers through this difficult time. Our memories of Shaheem will be a part of our campus community forevermore." The school is offering grief counselors for students and staff. Meantime, the suspect will be back in court next week.
Now let's get to your 4 to 5 Roundup. We continue to follow developing news on a deadly Brown Summit crash. The Latero family planned a celebration of life for 26-year-old Anna Latero on Sunday. It's at Springwood Presbyterian Church in Burlington. Right now, Anna Latero's brother, Alexio Latero, faces charges in the crash. 3 people died. 15-year-old Sarah Martin was also one of the crash victims. Her family is having her funeral tomorrow at Lebanon Baptist Church. They're asking that any donations be made to St. Jude Children's Research Hospital. As of right now, no funeral arrangements are announced for Greensboro firefighter Rick Merle. He and his wife Tanya Merle were in the car that Alexio Latero crashed into. Tanya Merle continues to fight for her life in the hospital.
Greensboro police say 2 banks on the same road were robbed within 3 days of each other. The latest robbery was this morning at Truist Bank on Randleman Road. Police say the man threatened the clerk and left with money. On Wednesday, police got a similar call about a robbery at the Wells Fargo down the street. Video there shows this man wearing an FBI hat as police say he threatened a clerk and got away with cash. Police say it is too soon to know whether they're connected. Meantime, High Point police are looking for the person who pulled a gun on a Walmart employee. Police say this is the suspect accused of the crime yesterday at the South Main Street store. Managers told officers the suspect held an employee at gunpoint, then stole money from the register. Some experts are saying this month could be better when it comes to inflation and prices. We told you earlier this week inflation is at its highest point in the last 40 years. The Labor Department says last month we witnessed a 9% jump. It's the fastest increase since 1981 and above what economists had expected. The areas hit hardest are rent, vehicle purchases, and insurance rates. Experts believe this month could be better in part because they're tracking a decline in gas prices nationwide.
New technology is changing the way people buy and sell their homes. Melissa Greer is a realtor for Berkshire Hathaway Yost and Little Realty in Greensboro. She says 25% of her listings are bought without the person ever seeing the home until they close. She says it's something she thought she would never see in her nearly 40 years as a real estate agent.
We do things like 3D Matterport tours where you can do virtual walkthroughs of a house. We do that on all our listings now, professional photography, drones, everything that can show a buyer exactly what they need to see if they have to make a decision before they purchase it, if they have to make a decision to purchase it before they see it.
Greer says travel restrictions and social distancing sparked by the COVID-19 pandemic greatly impacted how homes are sold. She says though services like Zillow and Realtor.com have become more popular, she still recommends consumers align themselves with an agent who can help navigate the home buying process for them.
there's so much experience. Local realtors know the market, they know the neighborhoods, they know intricate things that, and when you get to know a client, you can think of things that even if they tell you they want a certain thing, I would say 50% of the time they buy something that they didn't want originally, or it has something that they wasn't on their checklist, or they buy it without something that they thought they needed.
Greer also recommends using apps like FaceTime and Zoom if you are unable to meet with a realtor in person. This change in the real estate industry got us thinking about what we would like to see in our own home. So I asked you on my Facebook page, what special feature would you add? Pipo Jones wrote, one huge bedroom made into a closet for me. Bobby Odom says, I would like to add the same thing one of my favorite customers has, a 4-lane bowling alley. Very, very cool. Vinny Williams wrote a lazy pool in the backyard with a cover to it. Lori Walker says a screened-in porch for sitting and entertaining. Anthony Ashton says, I went to a house in Memphis and it was 7 bedrooms, 10 baths, and all the bathrooms had heated floors. I would like to have an upstairs kitchen with a see-through roof. Cameron Jones, a system to put my groceries away on its own. And then Lexi Cat said self-cleaning. I think we can all agree we would love something like that, self-cleaning.
All of those actually
Yeah.
were all really good ideas.
Especially the heated floors. I never even thought of that, but you know, in the wintertime when you get out the shower and it's like super cold,
Do you know
that would be great.
You can even get like heated toilet seats.
Ooh, that sounds comforting. Just keep
the
reading the
winter,
newspaper
right?
while on the toilet. You know, that's actually pretty therapeutic.
Yeah, for sure. I was thinking about this, and one thing, because I tend to always live around just lots of people.
Okay.
And so I want soundproof walls and windows.
I like that.
Because I tend to sleep later in the day because my shift is a night shift. And so I always hear lawnmowers, leaf blowers, people yelling, people screaming, loud cars. And I just want it to be really quiet.
And then since you go to bed later at night, if you're blasting music or watching a movie, you don't have to
Yes.
worry about them knocking like, you need to turn your bass down.
Right, absolutely.
For me, one of the things I tend to complain about is not having enough space for like my clothes, like enough drawer space or closet space. So I would like a 2-story closet. I've seen it on like the Housewives, I'm Married to Medicine and things like that. So I know it's a thing, but I would love a 2-story closet. I think that was so cool.
I also did like the idea about a lazy river.
Yes.
So a lazy river and a hot tub in the backyard because, well, you know, it gets cold here sometimes. So I like that.
That would also be great if you like to entertain as well.
Yes,
to have
which I
something
like to
that.
do. So then I also need an outdoor wet bar and then a big grill and all the things to entertain.
Okay, just make sure you invite me over.
Yes, absolutely. He'll be there.
Well, coming up at 6 o'clock, our Ben Briscoe digs deeper into mortgage trends, so you want to look out for that. Stick with us.
I want a basement, a hot tub, a pool. I just need like other things like new windows, countertops, annoying things that we have to do as adults, right? Things that need fixing. Looking at the skies across the Triad right now, everything is in good shape. Not finding very many storms so far. There have only been a couple. I'll show you where they are in just a second. First off, we're looking at these snapshots across the area and mostly just some puffy afternoon clouds. Everything is in good shape at the moment. Upper 80s, close to 90 degrees in Greensboro. Winston-Salem, you two are at 88 degrees. High Point sitting at 90 right now. We do have a few temperatures slightly cooler, which indicate, well, maybe you've had a quick little shower or two. The humidity has been up there, although it's a little bit less humid to the west and much more humid to the east. That's the trend for today. Futurecast here showing over the next little bit, we could have just a couple of pop-up storms, but by and large, almost all of us right now should not expect rain for today. It'll be the exception, and if you do get a shower, it would only last about 20 to 30 minutes. Going into tonight, all of that will be done with, and then for tomorrow, we'll kind of watch the sky again by the middle of the day and the afternoon. But this is not a big wet weather weekend. Instead, it's mostly just going to be dry. Both days look pretty much like this. Saturday starts out around 70 in the morning. We'll have highs in the mid 80s for the afternoon, upper 80s in spots, and that rain chance is only about 20 to 30%. Same idea for your Sunday. We'll have a high of 88 degrees there, just a very low chance of getting a storm, and if you get one, it doesn't last very long. A better storm chance on Monday because we have a front that moves in. After that, I think hot weather is getting more and more likely for next week. I'm forecasting 90s starting on Tuesday and lasting all the way through Friday of next week.
I was just wondering that before the 4, if you remember, can you just like uncover the table and put it near the verticals if you have time? Because sometimes we forget and then we're racing to get it, like navigate it around all of the big things. Thank you. There is a growing shift in opinion about the dangers of sharks. Galeophobia refers to people who get anxious by just thinking about the creatures.
Well, new research shows the fear isn't something we're born with, but perhaps is a behavior we're taught.
Within minutes of launching the drone, I found one. We had our first sighting.
He is right on the shore. He is so close.
It's a juvenile great white shark, 8 to 9 feet long in waist-deep water off a popular Santa Barbara beach. And under the watchful eye of marine biologists from the Shark Lab, we go in for a closer look.
Oh, he's right there. He is literally right here. Look, his fin just broke the surface right there.
For many, this is the stuff nightmares are made of.
The shark is right there. Just about 10 feet up.
But scientists are learning our outsized fear of so-called man-eating sharks is unfounded.
The risk of shark attacks is extremely low.
Psychologist Gabriella Hancock is working with the Shark Lab at Cal State Long Beach to understand what makes people so scared of sharks.
We're not innately afraid of sharks. So it appears as though our fear of them is learned and socially reinforced.
Even though these juveniles can be up to 9 feet long and 600 pounds, they would rather avoid something as big as a person.
In fact, if you do make a move toward a shark, they tend to go the other way.
Exactly.
Shark Lab director Chris Lowe says these sharks are actually afraid of us. But despite all the evidence, most people are still terrified of sharks. Scientists believe the 1975 movie Jaws caused a generation of people to develop galeophobia, an irrational fear of sharks.
It had a huge influence. It greatly changed how people perceive sharks.
There's even a term for it, the Jaws effect, a belief that sharks intentionally attack humans.
With popular media, it influences people's attitudes and perceptions such that it exaggerates the danger that these animals pose.
A deadly shark encounter.
Shark bite.
Shark attacked.
Media coverage of shark attacks can still amplify people's fears, but it turns out these images of sharks and people coexisting off the coast appear to have a positive effect.
Shark bites are Powerball rare. Like, your chances of winning Powerball are better than being bitten by a shark.
But even faced with slim odds,
That was amazing. That's actually the first time I've seen one in the wild.
the fear of sharks is a hard habit to break.
I have a lot of thoughts about this story. I think the biggest thing is, even if they're not coming out to attack you, you still need to take precaution. And if they're saying that they're near the shore, I'm not getting in. Just
Right.
because there is still a chance you could get bitten.
Well, and then, I mean, yeah, then you look at, lifeguard stations and
Yeah.
the communities of the coast, and they say, when you do see a shark, get out of the water.
Yeah.
So, I mean, they're helping amplify that fear too. But I think I'm a victim of this.
Okay.
Because when I was a kid, we used to go to Florida all the time, and we would swim, and I would have no fear of anything. And then I got older, and then I moved to North Carolina, and we report on shark attacks or close encounters with sharks. And I don't know, whenever I go to the beach now, I'm always in about like knee to waist deep water, and I'm always keeping an eye out.
Interesting.
What's out there?
And that's crazy because I know that people report on shark attacks, but I actually don't have a fear of sharks. Like when I go to the beach, I'm not thinking about the possibility of getting bitten by a shark. I
Yeah.
And wading in the water. I mean, I don't go out too far anyways, but it's just something I don't really think about.
I do think about it, and maybe it's just because I'm getting older, I just have more concerns for my safety anyway. I'm not sure.
Yeah.
But yeah, that's kind of how I feel.
Would you ever, you know, when you go to certain places like Mexico or certain like resorts and things like that, there's excursions you can do like going diving with sharks?
I think I
would you do
it,
something like that?
So my sister did. She was in Africa once, and she went with the sharks and was in like a steel cage.
Yeah.
I would do that because I mean, you're safe there.
Yeah.
It's not that I'm like, I don't have like a weird fear of them like I do spiders.
Okay, yeah,
I think
that
I'm just
I don't
like
want
worried
to
about
play
my
with the
safety
spiders.
around them.
Okay, that makes sense. What do you think? Let us know on Facebook. We'll be right back.
Hey there, welcome back. We're taking a look across the area this afternoon and mentioning that there is a low chance of thunderstorms, but so far have hardly found any across North Carolina. Here's the satellite image. When we show you this, we're really only looking at clouds. What happens here is there's a camera way up orbiting around our heads, and it takes a picture from outer space, and that's where you get these clouds from. So right now we're just noticing some puffy cumulus clouds here locally. The taller ones have been farther to the south and to the east. So when you get a downpour, you get a thunderstorm, it's always one of those really tall clouds. So if you're looking at the sky and you see short clouds, they're probably not bringing rain on a summer day. Here's where those downpours are though, right along the Randolph and Moore County lines. We've also had some over by Pinehurst, and over here in Troy, there's a new teeny tiny downpour. You can see it right there. No lightning in this just yet, but it is drifting towards you. So if you're in Montgomery County, keep an eye on that. There are some of those puffy clouds, what they look like here where we live on planet Earth, and we just have some small ones in High Point at the moment. Futurecast does indicate there might be one or two storms that pops up through 11 o'clock, but I wouldn't hesitate to go out and do anything you'd like this evening. Just keep an eye to the sky and an eye on your News 2 radar app. As far as Saturday, it's just like today, hot, muggy, with a low chance of storms. This little front that's been over us starts to fall apart and move away, so there's not much to spark those storms here locally. You might see one if you head out to the beaches tomorrow as well. Cold front gets a little bit closer on Sunday, not here just yet, but by Monday, that'll swing in, and that brings us a better chance for rain. So the next couple of days, pretty dry. Monday has the better of those chances. For the weekend, both days are in the upper 80s. It's humid, and there's a low storm chance. Very typical summer weather. The beaches, like I said, might see a couple more of those storms, and boy, is it warm. The water temperature 83 degrees right now. 7-day forecast. Oh, is it July or what? It just looks like it here. Temperatures will get a little bit warmer next week with highs in the 90s and that low storm chance remaining.
This is the time of week when we ask you to take a couple minutes for a little reflection. It'll be the pick-me-up you need to start the weekend on a right note.
Let us know what you're thankful for in the Facebook comments, while WFMY News 2's Megan Malaris tells us something good.
Cheryl's daughter got engaged. Glenda had cataract surgery and now has almost 20/20 vision. Amanda got her yard mowed, yay. Nancy's mom is visiting from out of town. Joanne attended her youngest granddaughter's college graduation. She walked across the stage with honors. Janice had surgery in May and is all healed. She's thanking the staff at Atrium Health Wake Forest Baptist. Linda is celebrating 53 years of marriage. Joanne's granddaughter Isabel turned 1 and had a fun party with her family to celebrate. Rhonda's husband is 3 years post-heart attack and quadruple bypass surgery. He got a great report from his cardiologist. Taryn's mom got good news from her oncologist. No more treatments, not cured, but doing better, and they are thanking God.
So much great news this week. It does have me feeling good.
Yeah, do you have anything?
I have a 4-day weekend coming up. It's been a while since I've taken some PTO, so I'm looking forward to that. Be able to just, relax and stuff, take a break.
Staycation?
No, I'm going to go out of town. I'm going to go up to the DC area for a couple days and then I'll be back just, relaxing, doing some errands. But, I deserve a break, so.
Yeah, absolutely. I had my big break.
Yeah, you did? You were gone for, what, 11 days?
Yeah,
wow.
So I would say that was my good. And the good within the good is my niece Charlotte.
Oh, she's so cute. I love all the pictures that you post of her. She's like walking now and
I did a photo dump, and it's unfortunate that I only get to see her like twice or 3 times a year, because when I saw her at Christmas time, she wasn't talking. I mean, she was 9 months old.
Yes.
So now, I mean, now she's walking and talking.
So what's her name for you?
She hasn't said uncle yet. Right
Okay.
now she's got mama, dada, and more.
So what does she say when she's trying to get your attention? She just points or something?
She's in this interesting phase where she just says hi, hi,
Hi.
hi.
Aw.
And if you're not paying attention to her, that's her way of getting your attention. She
Okay.
says hi.
So do
Hi.
you want to be called uncle, or do you want like a nickname or something?
I don't really care.
Okay, because you know, like when it comes to being a grandma, you know, people
Yeah.
are like grandma or Gigi or honey. They want
Right.
like all these names.
But it's because women don't want to feel like a grandma.
yeah.
Right? So they come up with different names. I don't really care. Whatever she comes up with, as long as it makes me look cool.
I was gonna say something.
I don't even want to hear what you're gonna say. But let us know in the comments. Let's see. I asked
what's
people on
happening good in
Facebook
your
right
life?
now. Melita says, I made it through the week.
Yes, I know that feeling. Sometimes that's just a blessing, just to make it through the week, just to wake up in the morning,
Absolutely.
go to work, put your shoes on.
Let
So
us
I get
know.
that.
I am on the Facebook comments right now. Come let us know what is good in your life.
Tell us something good.
What she said. We'll be right back. Hi, Brad.
Welcome back, everybody. Hope you're having some fun. I'm Lauren Coleman here with Chad Silver and Tim Buckley.
Hey,
What a
we
fun group
switched
we have.
spots.
I
You
know.
did.
Did you notice?
Did you notice?
Earlier,
At home?
I was there. Now I'm here.
We get to do those fun things on the
We're
floor,
so
right?
crazy, aren't we?
How has it been on your this week on the 4 o'clock?
Good. You know, we had one stormy day, and then the rest has just been sunshine.
Right.
So Fine with that.
You're going
You
to
guys
give us
are
an
fun.
update on the.
Don't
sometimes
tell the
we have
5
fun.
o'clock crew, but you're more fun.
So are you trying to say you're trying to stay?
We'll see. Tune in on Monday. We'll see if Eric got bit by a shark.
We'll see if he comes back, right? Thanks for watching us on air, online, Fire Stick, Roku, and the News 2 app. If you're on Facebook, let us know what's been good in the
In your
past
life,
week
yeah.
for you, and maybe we'll be sharing them a little bit later.
Until then, right now, we're kicking off your headlines off with some good news, some gasoline news. Right now, prices in Greensboro are nearly 50 cents less than they were last month.
The average price right now is $4.18, a slight drop from yesterday. Several local stations are already selling for under $4. Gas Buddy says a Lexington Avenue BP has it for not 6.
Yeah, don't do that.
It has it for $3.89, a number that we haven't seen in months.
So economists say relief from soaring gas prices is expected to continue. Yesterday, oil trading fell below $95 a barrel. That's the first time that's happened since Russia invaded Ukraine in February.
The war's impact on gas prices is lifting, but the attacks in Eastern Europe are not. A brutal airstrike today renewed Ukraine's calls for greater international help. Now, at least 23 people, including a little girl, died when a Russian missile nearly hit a residential building. Ukraine now says very few places in the country are safe. Throughout most of the Russian invasion, Brittany Griner has been there in custody. The WNBA star returned to a Russian court where she sat inside a cage while lawmakers submitted evidence in her defense.
Brittany Griner was handcuffed and wearing a Nirvana t-shirt as she was led into a cage inside a Russian courtroom. At one point, she managed to smile. During the hearing, lawyers for the athlete presented a letter from an American doctor recommending the use of medical cannabis for chronic pain. Griner's lawyers also submitted standard anti-doping tests that showed no use of drugs.
In the hearings yesterday and today, what became very clear is the tremendous amount of respect and admiration, both in the United States and here in Russia, where Ms. Griner has been playing basketball for 7 years, not only for her professional achievements, but for her character and integrity.
The WNBA star has been detained since February when cannabis oil was found in her luggage. In an effort to secure a less severe sentence, she pleaded guilty last week, saying she had no criminal intent. After the hearing, her lawyer was asked if Griner will testify on her own behalf.
I think we will tell you on the 26th what will happen. We need time to prepare for the next hearing as well.
The U.S. considers Griner wrongfully detained and says it's doing all it can to get her released. But with U.S.-Russian relations at a low point over the war in Ukraine, hopes for a possible prisoner swap seem dim.
Griner faces up to 10 years in prison if convicted. She will be back in court in 2 weeks.
Turning now to your 4 to 5 roundup, we continue to follow developing news on a deadly Brown Summit crash. The Latero family planned a celebration of life for 26-year-old Anna Latero on Sunday. It's at Springwood Presbyterian Church in Burlington. Right now, Anna Latero's brother, Alexio Latero, faces charges in the crash. 3 people died. 15-year-old Sarah Martin was also one of the crash victims. Her family is having her funeral tomorrow at Lebanon Baptist Church. They're asking that any donations be made to St. Jude Children's Research Hospital. As of right now, no funeral arrangements were announced for Greensboro firefighter Rick Merle. He and his wife Tanya Merle were in the car that Alexio Latero crashed into. Tanya Merle continues to fight for her life in the hospital. We're also learning more about the little girl who died in a car crash last week on I-85. Journey Schaffner was 6 years old. She was the daughter of a Greensboro firefighter. Her funeral is set for next Tuesday at Providence Baptist Church in Greensboro. The crash happened last weekend on I-85 in Randolph County. Highway Patrol says a driver rear-ended the Schaffner family's car, sending them off the road and into the woods. The crash injured 7 people, including young children. Week of Peace events continue today in honor of late Guilford County Commissioner Carolyn Coleman. Organizers held a job and healthcare informational at Evans Blunt Medical Clinic on Martin Luther King Jr. Boulevard. The program focused on lowering violent crime in the community by providing career support and professional help. Tomorrow, community leaders wrap up the week-long event with a block party at the clinic. It starts at noon.
Many food pantries in Guilford County are dealing with fewer supplies this summer. It's especially tough over the summer when some kids don't have access to nutritious meals. The United Way of Greater Greensboro is working on a solution with its Meaningful Meals Summer Food Drive. But they can't do it alone. Pick up nutritious food items and drop them off at the United Way, or they're even suggesting hosting your own food drive this month. The United Way suggests holding it in your neighborhood, maybe with your church, or even at work. And once it's over, take the items to Backpack Beginnings by August 5th.
Allow them to weigh the food, pack the food, and get it out to the greatest needs. You know, every year we do receive thousands of pounds of food. I would say this year anything is accepted and needed. We do encourage people to drop off, nutritious foods, things that you yourself would eat.
And if you can't host a drive, the Volunteer Center of the Triad has partnered with United Way to host a drive. It's next Friday from 11 to 2. And Lauren, listen to this. Everyone who gives will get free ice cream.
That gets everybody excited, right? We all love the ice cream in the summertime, and it's a good day for it right now. 89 degrees. Decent humidity as well, and it is one of those typical summertime days. A little bit of a breeze as we look over our flag sticks over in Burlington. Everything's in good shape there with the American flag flying. We have partly cloudy skies. Temperatures are all in the upper 80s with only a few exceptions. Some folks like Mount Airy, Wilkesboro, and Reedsville are in the mid 80s right now. Everybody a little bit humid also, but it could be worse for this time of year. It's most humid over in the Sandhills and over by Raleigh. Now, since we last talked radar, there have been a couple adjustments. A few more storms are starting to pop up, but they're all tiny. So by and large, almost all of us are dry right now and should stay that way. But we'll see some small action pop up like this. We're in Guilford County here. That's downtown Greensboro. This is I-40. This is I-85 right by 421. So if you're in this southeast Greensboro area, you have a big downpour. Now, no lightning in that just yet. Up in Rockingham County, we have a similar situation near Mayodan, right along Highway 220, and also as you go over toward Ruffin, not too far from 29. Farther south, just a couple of downpours near Seagrove and over in Troy in Montgomery County. This is what we will see over the next couple of hours. Some tiny ones could be popping up, and then they should be going away once we shut the sun off after sunset. That's typically what happens. Talking same weather for Saturday. Morning temperatures are in the 70s, afternoon temperatures mid 80s, feeling more like low to mid 90s with the humidity, and we will keep the low storm chance in the forecast, just like we had for today. As far as the rest of your 7-day, it's just kind of the same every day, everybody. The one exception, Monday has a better chance of those storms.
Panthers Fan Fest is now less than a month away. Tickets are on sale right now for a night of football, fireworks, and fun at Bank of America Stadium. It's pretty cheap too. Tickets start at $5. You can buy them on Panthers.com or through Ticketmaster. If you can't make it, you'll be able to watch it right here on WFMY, your official home station for the Carolina Panthers. I was tempted to attempt the growl at the beginning, and I was like, I'm not going to embarrass myself again.
So to elaborate on the Fan Fest on our air, a lot of people can't go to Fan Fest. I mean, it's in Charlotte and it's on a weeknight, so it's actually going to be on our air, and it's a live broadcast from 7 to 9 p.m. So you don't even have to go. You can just watch it right on our air. I love it this time of year because people start to get excited about football season coming back. We haven't had football here for a couple of months, so it's nice to be able to kind of see the players back on the field again.
Get into the tailgating and just the camaraderie of everything. So have you ever been to one of the Fan Fest before or seen it online? Like, what all takes place there? Because I've never been.
Right, so I've never been to a Panthers Fan Fest because I'm always working, but you can watch it. I watch it every year, and they've got the athletes out there. They do a little like scrimmaging, very light scrimmaging. It's mainly just for fans to kind of be able to go to Bank of America Stadium, see the players. Some people can't afford to go to actual games, and so $5 to get inside.
$5 is a steal.
Exactly.
I mean, and even if you don't live in Charlotte and you're in Greensboro and you want something fun to do on a weeknight, if you can, I mean, that's definitely something to check out.
And the players will always interact with the fans who are there, so they'll sign autographs, throw footballs around.
That's definitely a good time.
Yeah, absolutely.
Well, I don't work nights, so maybe I can go.
You could go to it. Only $5.
Yeah, $5. All right, folks, we'll be right back.
Yo, ice cold milk and an Oreo cookie. Oh, the dreaded waiting for the luggage. As the few bags start to trickle out on the conveyor belt, tell me, are you saying a little prayer that it actually shows up?
That's one of my biggest fears, is losing my luggage. So when 10 minutes pass, I'm like, where is my bag? I start getting a little worried.
So I am two things I'm worried about. One, is my bag there? And two, is it still intact? Because sometimes you'll see bags come through and they're ripped apart.
That has happened to me before. It was wide open, and they tried to say it was my fault.
Oh no. Yeah, I've had experiences like that. I've had my luggage lost a few times. It's never fun. Recently, a viewer asked us about this. She said, I was watching a national news piece about using air tags in luggage, showing the mounds of lost luggage. Okay, so I can locate my luggage. Does that mean I'm going to get it before I invest in 8 tags for 4 people? And so Sandy asked this question. Now, what she's talking about is an air tag. This is an Apple device. It's about the size of a quarter. You can put it in your luggage, on your keys. I have one on my dog. It uses the Apple network to give the device and whatever is attached to it a location. It's $29 for an air tag. So if Sandy's buying 8, that's $232.
Right.
That is a good chunk of change.
Absolutely, but do you know they're actually kind of off-brand versions too?
There are, so
I have one of those, so it's a little bit cheaper if you do it that way.
So the AirTag has a location, but like Sandy asked, does it help get her bags? I'm going to say yes, and I'm going to say no. Okay, so let me give you an example. My husband travels for work, and he has an AirTag on his bag. So this is what it looked like today, because he took a picture of it when he got on the plane this morning. So he's the blue dot, and you can see the luggage in the gray circle, and it looks like it's being loaded on a plane. The tracking gives him a time stamp on it, as well as the picture location, so he knows exactly where it is. On more than one occasion, the airline has not been able to find where his bag was.
Oh, no.
And he was able to say, oh, it's here in this specific airport. It was never loaded onto the other plane, and then they were able to grab it for him.
That would be a question that I would have was, okay, sure, I know where it is, but is anybody at the airline going to listen to me when I say, it's exactly right here between gates G4 and G6?
So, I mean, you're depending on the airline to do what it needs to do.
Yeah.
But for me, at least, I know that the bag exists.
Yes.
And it is somewhere, and I actually have my eyes on it somewhere, right? Versus, without that, you have absolutely no control about your checked luggage. Yes.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah. So to me, it's kind of worth it just to know that I have a little bit of
like that idea.
And knowing that you did that, I did that with mine. I got an AirTag for Christmas, and I said, where do I want to put it? I don't ever lose my keys. I don't ever lose my phone. I don't ever lose anything.
Right.
Except my luggage. So I put it on there.
That's a great Christmas gift, too. If they're like $30, that's a great gift to get for somebody, regardless of where they put it.
Right. And especially if they're travelers, I think it's one of those good things, but it really can be used for anything. Again, this is an Apple product, so it works with Apple phones, but you said that there's knockoffs and stuff for Android or whatever. You can try the Tile. Either way, we want you to keep track of all of your stuff.
Yes.
Yeah.
All right, Tanya, don't leave just yet. We need you to be a part of this next thing. We're going to go back in time for a moment. You might have seen my Facebook post this week comparing Julie Luck's jumpsuit to Jenko jeans from the 90s. I said when she takes off her heels, her outfit resembles the jeans, which got me thinking, which 90s fad did you rock?
My sister loved those Jenko jeans when those came out.
I had one pair of them, and they were not as baggy as
yeah, those were pretty
big.
big.
Do you have pictures?
I thankfully no.
Oh, he has
And then
pictures,
there was like a racing stripe that went down each side. I thought it was so cool. What about you?
See, I don't remember the 90s fashion like that because I grew up in the 80s. So like if I'm thinking like fashion like that, I'm thinking parachute pants. I'm thinking neon colors.
Yes.
So I'm thinking that kind of stuff. I'm not thinking 90s stuff. 90s always reminded me of like grunge. Right?
Really? I think like baggy, bright
Kurt
colors
Cobain.
for me.
Yeah, like the long sleeve, what do you call it, shirts? Like the flannel shirts and stuff like that. I remember that kind of grunge thing going on. I was like, that ain't me.
I liked the neon like windbreakers. I remember my parents putting me in a lot of those in the 90s, and then I had a lot of overalls. Like, remember those were popular, and then you could do like one shoulder or something like that.
TLC made that famous,
and
right?
baggy and cute. And I had like the long pair and the short pair, and a lot of times I had like Winnie the Pooh or Tigger or something.
Well, the Winnie the Pooh and the Tigger, they're not back in style, but the overalls are definitely back in style. You see that all around now.
Okay, so imagine my look from head to toe. Okay, we start out with
surfer hair.
Oh, you had like long hair, like a bowl cut.
Yeah,
or
but I'm
something?
referring specifically this time to the frosted tips. So I had
Oh,
frosted tips,
yeah.
and then right here I had I would trade out a puka shell necklace with a hemp necklace, right?
Okay.
And then I had like a Billabong T-shirt. my Jenko jeans.
Dude, you were it.
I was so cool.
You got to find this picture.
Look at this hair's a little bit different.
I want to know,
these
did you
days.
actually frost the tips, or did you just put like sun-in on the top
So
to make it happen?
I would bleach my hair totally, and
Okay.
then once it grew out a little bit, then it kind of looked like porcupine quills.
Interesting.
It was a good look back then.
I was
Just
really
saying.
cool, you guys.
I want to see this Flashback Friday photo.
We'll be right back. This week we are reviewing a film that's drawing a lot of controversy online. Where the Crawdads Sing is a novel turned movie written by Delia Owens in 2018.
The book has sold more than 12 million copies to date, but will it wow our photojournalist Manning Franks? Let's find out.
I'm always down for a story that's set in North Carolina. We don't have enough, in my humble opinion. So with its bestseller status, this adaptation of Where the Crawdads Sing seemed ripe to tell a very different story, an intriguing one even. Sad to say though, if this movie is any indication of the book's quality, oh boy, wow. Yeah, this is not convincing me to pick it up anytime soon to read.
In town, they tell the story of the marsh girl, the one who grew up alone in the wild. But they never really knew me. Like most stories, the facts don't weigh into it.
Set in the wild marshlands of North Carolina, Kaya has been abandoned by her family and isolated from the community since an early age. Still, she remains self-sufficient and resilient through it all. During this time, she becomes drawn to two young men from town, and love begins to blossom with each. However, when one of them is found dead, Kaya immediately becomes the main suspect, leading to an examination of who this so-called marsh girl really is. Where the Crawdads Sing tries to pin this film as a bizarre hodgepodge of drama, mystery, and romance, if you can even call the romance worthwhile. Personally, I like it when my romance movies actually have chemistry between the main characters. Daisy Edgar Jones, who as Kaya is easily the best thing about this film, has more chemistry with the actual marsh she inhabits than she does with either male character in this film. More than once, I found my mind wondering, hoping the credits would roll soon because these main relationship dynamics were boring me to tears. The movie is shallow in both style and substance. For the former, the production of the film doesn't do the natural beauty of North Carolina justice. Instead, everything feels artificial in the way we see the same stream and the same beach over and over again. And for the latter, the way the film haphazardly tries to structure itself and gloss over plot points it never bothers to finish is baffling. To top it off, the story and by proxy the characters are merely surface level. The marsh they inhabit has more depth than they do. Where the Crawdad Sings ends with an abrupt, cold, and morally problematic conclusion that feels just as rushed as the entirety of the film. And that's arguably how I left it. Indifferent, and at arm's length to characters that I should have cared more about. I'm giving Where the Crawdads Sing a blistering for you to decide. If you're interested, you can watch it only in theaters.
Just to reiterate, Manning didn't like that movie. He didn't like that movie. It's a 2 thumbs down. Okay, it is for you to decide. Same thing with the weather. Maybe you like it, maybe you don't. Some people love the summer, some people can't stand it. And we're in summer right now. It's right around 90 outside. Everywhere you are in the Triad, you see upper 80s to low 90s. Now, right here on the radar, there are a couple of small downpours that have popped up, just not very many of them. We're going to have more of these radar looks coming up on WFMY News 2 at 5 in just a couple of minutes. For now, here's your 7-day forecast.
A week of peace events continue today and on.
Hi there, I am shallow in style and in substance.
Hi, Illinois, Indiana, Iowa, Kansas, Kentucky.
Mic check 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. I'm at Aaron. Mic check 1, 2. I'm at touch, right? 5, 6. Okay.
Mic check 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10.
would you like to spend a holiday weekend with 80 of your relatives? I just did. You see, my family has a tradition. We call it Buckley Family Weekend. Every July 4th, family from all corners of the country gather in upstate New York at a small mountain house my dad's parents, aunts, and uncles bought for $18,000 back in the 1970s. This is the 50th year that we've done it. The family has grown over the years, the fashions have changed, but a lot of it has stayed exactly the same. Here's what makes it different. Over the course of 3 days, the family splits into 2 teams for competition, the Stars and the Stripes. The youngest Buckleys bring up the flag as the family sings God Bless America, and then the games begin. There are relay races, volleyball, a marshmallow eating contest, special kids games, a family photo contest, and just so much more. I can't list it all. We even go down to a nearby creek and have a rubber duck race for team points. By Sunday, the winning side is awarded the Family Cup, and there are plenty of awards to the champions of the kids' games, including an MVP trophy. When I was a kid, it was all about the games for me, but now that I'm older, I actually really look forward to reconnecting with the family over food, drinks, and conversation. Simply put, I wouldn't know a lot of these Buckleys if it weren't for this event. My relatives had a great idea in 1971 to simply get the family together for a couple days away from it all. Whether they knew it or not, it keeps the family close even as we've spread out all across the country. Lots of my friends have told me my family could never do that. To which I say, don't knock it till you try it. That's just my 2 cents. That's your 4 to 5. WFMY News 2 at 5 starts right now.
It's been quite the past few years for a pair of siblings who call Guilford County home. They're back in the triad after